Hamid is already live from the scene of the tragedy and is now joining us for more details. Leila, what more can you tell us about this incident?
Well, as you can see, Zainab, there is a lot of activity going on here at the banks of River Enziu. This caterpillar working late into the night. They arrived here at around 4 p.m. after having been waited for the entire day. This was more than 28 hours after this bus plunged into the river Enziu at the later hours of Saturday afternoon. But just to give you a glimpse of what is happening inside the river, those are Kenya Defence Forces divers that have been in the river the whole morning, the whole afternoon, and up until 7:10 p.m. they were able to walk through very dangerous waters and dangerous terrain to remove 9 bodies. This is as late as 5 p.m. They were in a position to remove those bodies and take them up to where they were being taken care of. So those are just some of the instructions from one diver to the other. A few seconds ago, they were giving instructions to themselves and they were removing important gear. So what you're seeing on your screens at the moment is the bus, the ill-fated bus that plunged into the river. We hear 7 of those bodies were mainly of women and children were stuck inside this bus. It was removed, like I said, at about 7:09 p.m. from the raging waters. What hampered those recovery efforts last night was there was a huge rainfall and there was a deluge in the river. So nothing much could be done yesterday, and we've just received those numbers from the Kenya Red Cross officials who were here earlier. We are being told that the regional commissioner of this area was also here and he addressed some sections of the press. We will be able to get that bite later, but what we can just give you is to paint for you a visual picture of what happened here in the late hours of Saturday afternoon. There have been so many reports of whether the driver decided, what prompted him to make that decision to cross across this area. So what we can see at the end is gear from the Kenya Defence Forces divers who have been here since yesterday. This is basically just their gear. They are putting up, finishing up for the day. And on the other side is what was the tire of the ill-fated bus. So it's a mixture of activities here, Zainab, and there's a lot of government representation. Much of the success was because it was a joint effort between the divers from the Kenya Defence Forces and the local divers who know the terrain. This, on a normal day, is usually a lager. There's not much water here, but once it rains, flash floods cause the river to swell, and the raging waters are an issue. Charity Ngilu, the county governor here in Kitui, was here all day. She left, we are told, really late in the afternoon. So she says once the recovery efforts and the families have been given time to grieve in another 14 days, they will be back here to ensure that the reconstruction of the bridge that had been displaced by the raging waters begins proper. If you can see on the other side, possibly the government had begun the issue of constructing a proper bridge. So the gentleman you can see floating is one of the divers from the Kenya Defence Forces. One you can see on the other side, those are families who are here since yesterday, hoping to find if their loved ones have been recovered from the waters or there are those who have been found alive. So we will be here to sift through after the recovery has gone through, just to speak to the residents of this particular area and just to find out from them how are they feeling, what are their requirements for government. We know so many leaders have spoken to the issue of the quality of drivers and engaging with raging waters, and also there's the whole issue of making sure that the bridge was good to go for people to cross. So did he choose to go? Was he pushed by the people he was supposed to take across to go there. I hear some of those who died were just taking a ride to cross from one side to the other. Those are some of the details we'll be able to bring to you tomorrow as the first full day of recovery here in Mwingi comes to a close, Zainab.
All right, Leila.